name's really Dale.
Talk loud.
Yes, I have two names, just like I've had two lives. My life before cancer and my life after cancer. And I'm a survivor, 14 years. Yay.
Woo!
I want to thank everybody who's here, who's worked so hard to raise so much money for the Cancer Society, so people like me can stand before you and say that I'm a survivor. I've never spoken a microphone before, and I've never talked in front of an audience, so I'm glad no one's standing in front of me. After I was diagnosed, I didn't want to really talk about it. I didn't want to be the poster girl for cancer. But I soon realized that I really was the luckiest unlucky girl I know. I was diagnosed with a golf ball-sized tumor on my pancreas after 4 years of a lot of really complicated, unexplainable health problems. I went to so many doctors, and no one could ever figure out what was the problem. After I was diagnosed, I learned what every cancer patient learns, a new vocabulary. I still don't know how to spell any of these words, but I now know what a hepatobiliary surgeon is, a nasal gastric tube, neuroendocrine carcinoid, a pancreatic jejunostomy, and a Whipple surgery. My treatment for my cancer was a Whipple surgery. I went to USC University Hospital, and they removed half my stomach, half my pancreas, my duodenum, or your duodenum, my gallbladder, my sphincter valves, my pylorus valves, and any number of infected lymph nodes. Anything that's malignant needs to come out. 9 hours later, when my surgery was over, I woke up and I was a cancer survivor. And my husband and I decided that every February 11th, we would celebrate and do something really special and make it a big occasion, which we still do. Then I started the next step on being a survivor, which was my recovery. And it took me about a year to get back to what was now going to be normal for me. I had to learn to eat again, which anyone who ever knew me would crazy that I had to learn to do that again. I had to get used to my new body because all of a sudden I was really skinny. And in LA, that's the most important thing apparently, because everywhere I went, women would go, "How do you get so skinny? What's your secret?" And I tell them it was just a little tumor on my pancreas. That actually stops the conversation pretty quick. But for years, I wouldn't wear a bikini, and I really did a lot to hide my scar. And now I wear a bikini all the time. I think of my scar as a badge of courage, and I'm really proud to rock it. And also part of being a patient and being a survivor is learning to be a patient. Part of being a patient is learning you have to talk about a lot of stuff you don't want to talk about. And I went to see any number of very fancy doctors whose mothers are so proud of them. And all they wanted to do was talk about my poop. And it's pretty constant that that's all they really care about is my poop. And it's pretty humiliating. But I've learned that you have to talk about a lot of poop when you're a cancer survivor. Also, I have to get used to getting your checkups, which anyone who's a survivor knows is pretty terrifying. I met Doreen on the Survivor Lab who shared with me that she had just had a scare on her checkup, and it's pretty devastating. But as long as you just have a scare, then you keep going on, and most of us have had them. So part of being a survivor and staying a survivor is being vigilant about your health and about your checkups. So for me, it meant becoming radioactive a few times a year. I'd get a nice card I could show them at the airport when I set off the bells and whistles. Every time when they would put me in that MRI tube and through the CAT scan, it was pretty terrifying at first because that's where they discovered my tumor. Now I've gotten really good at it and I can actually sleep in an MRI tube. I bookend my life after cancer by my two biggest surgeries, my Whipple surgery, and then 9 surgeries later, I had a pancreatic duodenostomy. A lot of things changed in that time. After my Whipple, I was able to follow my dream, go to culinary school, and I started working as a pastry chef at Spago's. And that was pretty cool. And then I had a lot of health problems when I was working there, and I decided that was too much. And I left there, started a little business, and then I was still cooking, and I kept having health problems. And then I had to have another giant surgery called a pancreatic duodenostomy. And after that, I really started accepting my life and kind of looking at it a little differently, and it was becoming easier to be a survivor. And that's when I discovered yoga. And my dear friend was opening Black Dog Yoga in Sherman Oaks, and I was there the day that it opened, and I started doing yoga every day. And since that day of doing yoga, I haven't been in the hospital. And my doctors really can't tell any reason I should be in the hospital. And so I really believe that it's the yoga, and I believe that it's helping other people and telling my story all the time. So when people come in the studio and they've been through some sort of terrible experience, they look at me and I know they think, oh, this girl has everything. She's not perfect health, this great job, and isn't she lucky? And I share my story all the time, and people are often really inspired to start doing yoga. And I really believe that that was the icing on the cake, so to speak, to change my life. And I brought one of our favorite yoga teachers and someone who's so near and dear to me, Cassie Crespo, this adorable gal in the red shirt, and she's going to lead you in a yoga class somewhere in here. So please come check it out.